Well, it's predominantly brine, yeah. I mean, you guys did tracer dilution tests, so it's really has been a plus for the brine equipment, the expansion that we did in 2012. I've never seen it operate as high as we have been recently, yeah. So it was designed for 8 megawatts, and I've seen 11 megawatts. So the heat and the brine contribution from the new well is fantastic, yeah. Well, we're happy about it. But, you know, we're going to strive to reach the 38. I mean, that's an obligation we have with the utility, right? So we're doing the optimizations because that's typically like somewhat the low-hanging type fruit. Once we, you know, understand exactly what we need to do, then, you know, we're always considering well field work. You know, Mike mentioned that we're looking at well field work. We're looking at working on some of the existing ones. We don't have any plans to drill new wells right now, but we have some wells that if we perform certain types of maintenance, we can improve their deliverability, their productivity. So when that happens, though, you know, we'll be using our equipment, and if it's going to be well field, there's that potential that we'll be working, you know, around the clock again.
You know, the biggest concern is safety. Have you added any, what safety features have you put in place or are going to put in place or have in place right now?
In general? In general. Well, first off, let me just first start off by, in the industry or even in the workforce, especially in industrial type activities like Helco and us and maybe the refineries, you know, there are performance indicators that the feds, you know, oversee, and it has to do with OSHA, for example. And so if you get injured at work, it's considered a recordable accident, right? And different injuries will fit, you know, will warrant whether it's considered recordable or not. And then you have another type of injury whereby you get hurt at work and you don't return the next day. So that's referred to as a lost time accident. And we just completed how many years? 8 years of no lost time accident. That's unprecedented in an industrial type facility. You know, you can go check with Helco or refinery, Chevron. You know, so safety, Ron has been in safety environmental for many, many years, and we're training on a continuous basis, weekly, monthly, and we got to keep up, yeah, with all of the federal, the state regulations, even with the county, even with civil defense. You know, I give civil defense credit. You know, Darryl Oliveira, he's really on top of his game, especially with everything that's been going on. Yeah, he is, and so we still continue to work with him closely. So when there's ways we can optimize the procedures regarding safety, you know, we're always looking out to do that.
What about, you know, confining the leaks or taking care of leaks that you have? Do you have monitors around the area?
Sure. I mean, you want to speak to that, Ron? Yeah, we have fixed monitoring detectors that's internal to the plant. There's like 26 different monitoring detectors, and they are in the plant because they're closer to the source. They're not a permit requirement. They're not required by the county. They're not required by a state DOH Clean Air Bench or EPA. We, you know, proactively installed them. The monitoring system that is a compliance requirement by DOH and the county are the stations that are out on the perimeter. Yeah, so those are 24/7. And if you're interested, you know, we provide the link. You can go up and look at the hydrogen sulfide levels. You can look at noise. You know, those are typically the two main concerns, yeah, that most people have concerns about. But, you know, talking about leaks, though, you know, Ron and Mike and even our maintenance crew, there are other, like, procedures. There are, work orders, and what's the stuff in Main Saver? Preventative maintenance, sorry. So we have a very proactive preventative maintenance program, and the guys on a continuous basis are the eyes and ears, and they're looking, they're listening, they're smelling, observing. So you have the human factor, and then you also have, you know, the installed equipment. You want to add anything? Sure. What's your name?
My name is Katerina.
Katerina, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Sure. So is it true that the monitors that are on the perimeter of the
Yes.
15 feet height?
Sensors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say it's about 15 feet, maybe a little bit less. It's true.
And so is it true that hydrogen sulfide actually goes closer to the ground, so they cannot really sense?
That's not necessarily totally correct. Hydrogen sulfide is heavier than air, so it'll tend to be lower. But when you look at hydrogen sulfide as a concentration, it's not like the concentration down here is going to be 10 parts per billion, and up here it's going to be 1 part per billion. The concentration will be pretty close to each other. Yeah? So it's not going to be super high at your breathing zone, and then it doesn't detect it up there. It doesn't work that way. And then to further elaborate on the height, that was determined by EPA. So we followed EPA guidelines on where to position it. Yeah? So sometimes people get concerned because of what you just said. It's up there, hydrogen sulfide is heavier than air, and so it's not going to detect. That's definitely not the case. So the range of the concentration will not vary, you know, to the extent where it's going to be dangerous at 5 feet compared to 15 feet.
So is it also true that the EPA found PPE in compliance with a lot of rules, and you guys were given a list of actions that were supposed to be done but have never been done actually, and that was since 2000?
Oh, did you say we're in compliance? Or in compliance?
In not in compliance. You were found on the list of things that were not followed by EPA, and that was found in 2000 and has not been followed up on.
Well, I can tell you, if we did not follow up on there, I wouldn't be talking here tonight. I would be at a prison somewhere. We get inspected regularly.
By EPA?
EPA, Department of Health, you know, Air Branch.
And also, I believe recently it was 2013.
Well, let me answer your question though. So it's not true that we're not in compliance. The EPA did state that they had some items that we needed to address, and we addressed them all.
Okay.
Yep.
And the ones in 2013 and 2014?
Yeah, we're still working on that one though. Yeah, see, you know that we get inspected regularly, right? So that one we're still working on, yeah, the recent one. So we're still working on that. But if we were bad actors, EPA has the authority to shut us down, and they haven't. Okay, so that tells you that we're proactive and working with them in making sure we can comply.
And then I believe you said the sensors are working 24/7, right?
Correct.
But do you shut them off during the maintenance?
Yes.
So then that's not 24/7. And is it true that during the maintenance, actually, it's the biggest output of hydrogen sulfide and other gases?
Now, maintenance on the equipment. Okay, if we're doing maintenance on the equipment, it's shut down. So you do maintenance on your car and you keep it running? No. So you can't ride your car if you're doing maintenance. So what we do is we inform the proper agencies that we're doing maintenance because they need to know. And as a backup, we have portable monitors that our employees carry around as a backup. You know, so yeah, if maintenance is being performed, it's going to be shut down for that period of time.
So there has never been a leak of hydrogen sulfide, like, or a vent out during the maintenance?
Well, I haven't during the maintenance of the stations.
You know, wherever you have the wells connecting to.
So maintenance on what equipment? Which equipment?
Whatever's going to the well that actually is.
Okay, as far as I recall, maybe you might help out, Ron. Anytime there was maintenance being performed on the monitoring equipment, there hasn't been a leak.
And then, you know.
Wait, hold on. Anybody else want to ask a question?
Yeah, I mean, during Hurricane Zell, and please, you know, this is going to be my last question, but I just want to.
No, it doesn't have to be your last question.
During Hurricane Zell, unfortunately, you guys decided to still operate the plant even though there were clear warnings, this is going to be a real tropical storm, real deal, and has been a blowout in the community, and 120 people reported health problems on being able to get out.
Sure.
Actually knocked out a lot of people. Do you find that responsible?
Do you use Helco power?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I understand why you feel that strongly about it. Majority of the, let me answer your question. The majority of the people on the island depend on the power that Helco provides. Helco depends on PGV for providing power. We provide up to 25%. So for us to, just unilaterally disconnect means that 25% of the island perhaps will not have any power. So how are they going to prepare for this oncoming storm, right? This incoming storm. And let me keep on going. I want to ask you a question. So we proactively, we implemented some operational procedures and plans. We doubled up our shift. We reduced our power output. And we told Helco, look, if we need to, we're going to go offline. So the plant didn't trip offline. It's Helco's transmission system that tripped the facility offline. So we firmly believe that our equipment is robust. We have equipment all over the world. What's that place where the volcano erupted on that plant? Guatemala. In fact, it just had another eruption. Covered up the plant, cleaned it up. Plant was back and put it back in operation, just like us. As soon as the transmission system was restored, we got back online and then continued to provide power to the grid and the majority of the people that are on the grid.
Yeah. But the next time a storm was coming, I forget which one, there's been so many, I think you guys did shut down.
Right. So
it was a good move, but...
Well, we ended up shutting down, correct. We also ended up, what we do, we did some optimizing and fine-tuning of our procedures with civil defense and with Helco. So sure, we learned some lessons. Maybe, so we've got some procedures in place. Depending on the weather conditions, we'll make different decisions.
Wow, I'm really glad to hear that, because I don't really think that the health is a price that we should pay.
No, we totally agree. Health and safety is number one. We had 7 people at ground zero. None of them got sick. We really do. We are concerned. Yeah.
When he says ground zero, the guy that closed the valve on the trees, he had no health issues.
But did he have equipment to protect himself?
I was stuck in Leilani trying to get to the plant.
Yeah. 120 people, it's been documented, have reported health problems, because unfortunately they won't be able to get out. They were all locked in with them.
Where do you live, Katerina?
I don't live in Leilani, but I live in the area.
You said we were trapped. You were in Leilani that time? During the storm?
I identify myself with people here. I very much identify with their health issues.
Yeah, and speaking of health, are you aware of all the health studies that's being performed by the county?
Currently?
Yes.
I know that there has been, but
So,
it hasn't been finished.
well, three of the 4 studies that this working group recommended, and do you know anyone on the working group? Yeah, the Adler study group. Yeah. So the recommendations from that study group, right? Number 1 was the study group felt that HGPA was a toxic waste dump. You remember HGPA?
That was before my time.
Okay. So HGPA was a pilot geothermal project that did not have reinjection wells. All it had was ponds. So the geothermal fluids, after it was used to generate electricity, would flow into these ponds. So the working group decided that core sampling of the ground needed to be taken to analyze for heavy metals. So that was done, okay? So the county hired someone. That was done. The reports are available at Research and Development. You can get that online. And the results was 0. Okay, that was just the first study. The second study was the groundwater study, right? The group decided and determined that we need to make sure that PGV is not contaminating the groundwater. So the group also decided who to do the testing of, and that was the USGS out of Menlo Park, California. Okay? So the county is going and doing what the group recommended. That water study was recently completed, and again, you can look at it at the county website.
I've seen it. They found traces of isopropane, which is used in every facility.
No.
I'm not sure if it's exactly isopropane, but which one? Pentane. They found
Right. And they also said that they can't connect it to tie it into the plant. It could be naturally occurring.
Well,
The general summary is that geothermal is not affecting the groundwater.
a lot of times
I'll bring the studies out for the next.
scientific studies
I'll bring the study and
are
share.
different from actual numbers.
I'll bring the results. I'll bring the reports at the next meeting, and we can show everybody. We can read it together.
The numbers.
Yeah, we'll bring everything.
We don't inject our pentane into R&D, so.
However, they found
There's a certain amount you can't account for anyway.
No, we account for all our pentane. We're required by EPA and the local air boards to account for 100%.
actually, Mark stated in one of the meetings that how many gallons of pentane is not accounted for, like per day? But it was monthly thousands of gallons that were.
We have a permanent requirement that we.
Well, I'm just saying what was stated, so that's all we can do.
Who did I state that? Oh, you know, our usage can be looked up at the EPA website. The reports we submit is public information. So maybe you misunderstood what I said.
I don't think so. There's a lot of people that.
Okay.
So are you folks going to be affected by this next era merger?
Yeah, we're going to have a new owner.
Okay.
That's the only effect.
In the event that there is this co-op, that, you know, there's this big push for co-op,
Uh-huh.
are you folks going to be affected by that too?
You know, we have contracts in place, so the only effect I can see is that we would report to a different owner. Yeah,
Okay,
it's the only difference.
operationally, you don't see any.
No, operationally it will be ORMAT. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad you're interested in all this health information, because I'll bring out all those studies next time, and I'll ask maybe the R&D folks to come out. I'll even share what we report on the pentane usage just to clarify. And then the third study that's done was the meta study. You familiar with that? Yeah. So that study is completed, and again, in general, there's no red flags tying in PGV with health issues. There's no red flags.
Yeah, but meta-study is not a real health study. Meta-study is just studies of
Right,
studies that
but it was something that was recommended by the working group, of which some of your friends probably that participated.
The working group really recommended the health study.
And that's the next one that hasn't been done yet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the one that's going to cost the county like $750,000, $800,000 to do, but they're committed to do it. So it'll be interesting, to see how that works
Part
out.
of the royalties that you are giving to the county, they're supposed to cover the health and safety issues of the people that live around.
Yeah.
That was the whole purpose of the royalties, actually, to protect the health of the residents that are living right next to you.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
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 It
No.
should have been done actually probably 20, 30 years ago.
Well, here we're obligated to give the money to the county, and we really don't have any primary say in how that money is used. But we support all of these health studies, definitely.
Mike, if you supported it, you could have gone to the mayor and urged him to do it. You could have
I
gone to
did.
county council and urged them to do it without waiting for the community to have to bring it up.
You could have gone to the mayor and lobbied for that nighttime drilling too, because that would have been good too.
Yeah, all of those, that's true. That's all good points. Yeah.
And I want to ask, you said you don't do monitoring when you're doing maintenance. And you also said you're going to be doing maintenance that may be going on for 24 hours a day.
Okay, let me clarify.
Yeah.
When the equipment is not working, it can't be monitoring at the same time. So when you're not monitoring with the equipment that you're performing maintenance on, we use backup equipment to monitor. So there's always a backup.
Yeah, I don't understand all the mechanics of why you cannot monitor while you're doing maintenance.
It's like if you're working on your car, the analogy, if you're like changing your oil, you can't drive it.
But I would think that you know, during maintenance of
equipment.
Many neighbors are saying, oh, there's releases during maintenance. I would think there'd be a way you could figure out to do good monitoring just as good as normal.
We do have a procedure, we do have a way, and the backup is this handheld monitoring equipment. We do. And in addition, Civil Defense, Hawaii County, they have additional monitors and meters. They're using the royalty, the asset fund, and they purchase all of that. In addition to that, they've issued it to community members. Bob Patrici has one, I think Tom Travis has used one. So, I mean, they're like backups to us that already have our backup.
Anyway, what I wanted to ask you said you're going to be doing maintenance to increase production of some of the old wells, and that may go on for 24 hours. And how is monitoring going to be done during that maintenance?
Monitoring of?
Pardon?
We monitor noise or?
Releases?
Oh, nothing, you know, if anything, the monitoring will increase, but what we have in place will monitor any type of work that we do, whether it's well field work or just from the plant currently, yeah. So.
But you just said you don't do monitoring while you're working on the.
I don't do monitoring when maintenance is performed on a monitoring equipment.
Oh, but when you're doing maintenance on a well.
We monitor. Yes,
okay,
definitely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Up until now, that wasn't quite clarified.
Okay, let me say that again. When we are performing maintenance on monitoring equipment, then that monitoring equipment is not monitoring.
Yes.
So we back up monitoring with handheld meters and other meters that Civil Defense has, DOH has, as the backup.
And those backup meters are incredibly sensitive.
Yeah, they're lab grade. Same like the one that Patrici has.
Because up until now, you made it sound like there was a linkage between the well and the monitors, and that was what was causing the confusion.
Okay, okay, thank you. Please pass the word around.
Yeah.
So when there are handheld monitors,
yes,
community, people in the community also have monitors?
Sure. Yes. This is as a result of the Adler Group, the recommendations. Yeah, they wanted, you know, like third-party monitoring. Sure. So.
Are they informed when you folks take down the
when we do
monitoring equipment so they know when to be extra vigilant?
It says on the
question is noted.
Ma'am, it is noted on the website, our website for monitoring station.
Yeah, it's on the website.
One of our stations at service due to maintenance.
Yeah.
That's a requirement that DOH wants us to post.
But they're not
on the website.
They're not called personally. You know that you are monitoring. I mean, you are doing maintenance. You don't call
on the equipment. No, we haven't called them personally.
It's up to them to look at the website.
Yeah.
Now, I'm kind of confused on Isel. Did you people know that Isel was going to be a severe storm before it came?
Sure we did.
I didn't.
We were at the EOC office every day, every morning. I went and represented PGV.
And you knew it was going to be a severe storm?
Well, it was a category 1. And then it was reduced to a tropical storm before it hit.
And it was supposed to clear by midnight. And midnight it was still going on, and 6 o'clock the next morning it was still going on. But I never got that information from anybody that it was going to be that severe, because nobody knew it was going to hang up and stay there. So how did they know it was going to be a severe storm?
You know.
It's a question also of being vigilant, right? Because we knew it was because we boarded up our windows.
The windows.
We did. Yeah. I've gone through big hurricanes.
Yeah.
Nearly, you know, the trees nearly.
I'm talking about taking big oak trees down.
Yeah.
And the cell really wasn't all that bad. And the information I got was it was going to clear by midnight. Come midnight, she said, I thought it was going to clear. Well, nobody knew it was going to hang up.
Yeah, it hit us direct, huh? So.
It hit us direct.
Yeah.
No, we got no forecast that it was going to sit here and stay.
We didn't, we didn't get that forecast either. Yeah, I think everyone was a little surprised that it just stayed as long as it did. That's the comments I heard at the Emergency Operating Center afterwards too.
Yeah, because I was kind of stunned when I saw the damage and how long it stayed, because we never got no information that it was going to be a long storm sitting here. It was supposed to hit and go.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
Yes, Corey?
I want to ask, you said you're going to be doing maintenance of old wells. How's the noise level going to be with that compared to, say, the drilling?
It's going to be similar, right? It's going to be similar to drilling. It's not as long a duration because drilling is usually a longer period when you drill a new well. But we're going to be
during the day.
Day and night. We're going to do what we just did with the last well we completed. Okay, the last well, day and night.
And what, when will this start?
Oh,
for how long?
We don't have that firmed up yet. We're just assessing and planning right now. But as soon as I get and we get firm dates, we're going to inform the community again. Yeah, it'll be way ahead of time. We're not going to like say, oh, next week we're going to be doing work.
So is there a way that you folks can defer the maintenance so it's only going to be during the day?
No.
It has to also be at night?
When it's well field work, it has to be around the clock. And again, it's a safety issue. Okay. It compromises the potential for an uncontrolled event to occur. So we've been saying that from day one when the county proposed the ordinance, you know, and we've been saying that to the state level, and so it's a bad ordinance. It's a bad thing. It's safety. If we're really concerned about safety, then you know we need to do something about that. But we haven't had, you know, some folks I guess don't understand the severity of it. There's nowhere else in the world that they stop drilling. It just don't make sense. I mean, you're asking for trouble.
Isn't it hard on the machines too?
The machines, you know, you got to keep it running, even though you're not drilling. You got to keep it running, right? But what happens is every time you come out, because if you say you have to stop, you don't know what's going on. Gases may migrate through into the well bore. Heat may, you know, increase. You can have the well collapsing. You can have the well like, you know, blow. And we wouldn't want that.
Well, I was hoping that, you know, when he made the statement that folks aren't going to drill any more wells. I was hoping that that would decrease the noise and vibration
we're working.
that the residents over there would feel at night. I mean, is there a way that can be mitigated?
Sure. I mean, if we, no, there is ways to mitigate noise. There is ways to mitigate vibrations, etc. And we're working on that. We committed to that. We did that with the last drilling that we did. And when he said that we're not drilling any new wells, he meant in the near future. Okay, we can drill up to 28 wells. We have permits to drill 28. We only have 11. If we wanted to, we could drill 17 more. I mean, that's what's permitted. Unless, you know, if we don't need to drill, we won't. And that's why we're on at 11. So noise is a concern. I'm actually working with Councilman Iligan. We're actually looking to try to improve on the current noise levels. Regardless that we're well below regulatory requirements, we're going to do our best to try and reduce it further. So we're working on that.
One thing we agree with everybody, we don't want to drill either. Nobody wants to drill. We don't want to drill new wells.
Right.
Because there's a lot of risk involved. And it's the single greatest exposure from a geothermal from that perspective. And we just don't want to do it. We do it if we have to. That's it.
What do you mean by geothermal exposure?
Risk, as far as, because when you drill, you don't necessarily know that you're going to hit the resources or the steam and the brine and the temperature that you want. So it's calculated guesswork, but it's still.
So when you say risk, a risk of putting all that money and energy in and not finding anything?
That's another risk, yeah. You know, industry-wide, 33% is the success rate. That's geothermal. 33% success rate. Yeah, I don't know what the success rate on oil and gas is, but I guarantee it's not 100%. You know, because, you know, it's difficult to see thousands of feet down below.
Well, the success rate for solar is 100%.
Yeah, but how are you going to watch Monday Night Football? When the sun's down, how are you going to watch Monday Night Football?
You figure out how to store it. You do hydro, you do
But
batteries,
every energy source has its detractor. They did the energy, I don't know what they call them, like they centralize the energy into one area. This is somewhere around Temecula or somewhere, and they're killing all the birds because it's so hot. The birds fly into a zone where it's superheated just from the sunlight being refracted off the, and they've killed many birds. So, I mean, every energy source has a detractor.
Yeah.
And solar batteries become toxic. You know.
Solar panels are toxic.
So, yeah, all energy sources has, you know, its challenges. You know, we have the challenges we talking about the birds. I mean, even the wind folks. I mean.
Yeah, they kill a lot of birds as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there's always conservation too. That has probably the fewest.
I agree with you totally, Corey. It's just that probably the majority of the folks, you know, I'm sure, in fact, we know people have improved, yeah, because if you go back to 2008 when oil prices peaked, the peak load on this island was like 210 megawatts or something. Today, it's less than 180. So why is it that much less conservation?
I know people going solar off the grid too.
Yeah, definitely.
We support that 100%. I mean, we're in the renewable industry, so any renewable industry, we are 100% behind.
Yeah.
Windmills, but I know people are opposed to windmills because windmills attract trolls, and in Hawaii we're anti-troll, right?
That's a different place.
Oh, that's different. Okay.
So when does your contract with Helco expire?
Our contract with Helco expires in 2027, December 31st, midnight. So.
That's possibly the end of the world.
How much longer?
We can't say that for sure.
Yeah.
How much longer do you expect the wells to actually, run and operate?
Well, we have 4, KS1A, KS9, KS10, KS3 still in service. Yes. So we have 4 of the original 5 for over 22 years. You know, they're still providing energy or taking, fluids, to allow the energy to be produced. So.
Well, everything wears out.
Right.
I can attest.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that. Everything wears out.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah. You still need to come to visit us. Mike will let you come on site. Huh?
I heard Suzanne Case is coming. Right?
She was here yesterday.
She was here yesterday? Okay. I talked to her last week.
Yeah. She had some other functions on island, so she asked if she could visit. Mosquitoes? No. The geothermal heat kills the dengue.
Good.
We're dengue free at PGV. We fight the bite. Come camp over there. No, we don't have mosquitoes. Well, we have lots of chickens that we've adopted. There's one happy rooster with like 12 hens, and his flock is increasing. Wow. They're healthy as heck.
Yeah, fishes too. Right?
We have tilapia fish right in our pond. They're happy as heck.
All this.
They did not survive some of our employees.
Oh. We had the fish test.
Protein.
Sure
right.
So the roosters and the chickens are surviving with this?
They're surviving, and so are the fish. Yep.
The chickens are very friendly too. They expect to be fed.
Yep.
The fish are pet fish.
So that, some folks disagree with drilling, but the chickens love drilling because the drillers are there all night and they get to eat all night. I'm serious. We have We have cattle. Yeah, we have cattle on our property. We have a person that raises, I think, 120 head or so.
Yeah.
At cattle.
My dog likes some chickens too.
Dog, yeah.
You know, one time I seen a picture in the newspaper and they were complaining about breathing that air and how it was affecting the person's health.
Mm-hmm.
But in the picture was 2 exotic birds in a bird cage. Now, if your health is being affected by this stuff, how come these birds were doing fine?
Good question. That's what that was the old monitoring equipment, by the way, yeah, canaries. So if you were like doing maintenance on the canary, you didn't have anything. But yeah, the canaries, if they fell, then the miners would leave.
So when you guys have maintenance,
we should carry a canary. The chickens. Right, right.
Another question.
Yes, Corey.
I believe that our county has passed a no fracking ban sometime maybe a couple of years ago. I'm remembering that. But anyway,
yeah.
But when they passed the nighttime drilling ban, I think you folks said, oh no, that doesn't apply to PGV, it's overridden by state law or something. But would you guys say the same thing about the fracking ban?
No, we don't frack. We're not frackers.
Does ORMAT do it?
No, ORMAT doesn't do any fracking.
Because they actually call it enhanced geothermal systems, but not
Yeah.
fracking.
No, it's not fracking like what people are concerned about, yeah, where they pump down high volumes of fluids with chemical additives, etc. Yeah, that's the concern fracking that I think most people are concerned about because they use that technique in oil and gas.
When I said the fracking, I was perhaps not using the correct term, but I was also thinking about the enhanced geothermal. Does ORMAT do the enhanced geothermal?
We've done one project.
Pardon?
We've done one enhanced geothermal project, a small one in Nevada.
Yeah, it was actually one of the plants that I managed before.
There you go. Mike was involved.
I know there are any plans to do that here?
No.
No, there's no opportunity for fracking here whatsoever. It wouldn't have any impact at all.
Wouldn't work, basically?
It wouldn't work. Now, the resource here is so plentiful and massive that there's no upside to it.
Yeah, we look for the fractures. I think, you know, when you look at the mainland where they have all this fracking, like for natural gas, they're a different geology than what we have here, because we're a young geologic island, basalts.
Yeah.
A lot of those fracking folks, I think they have like limestone and other types of geology. Yeah, different ball game.
Okay.
At Desert Peak 2, that was the Department of Energy approaching us and wanting to do a test on one of our wells. They had some success, but it was nothing to write home about.
When was that?
It was completed about a year and a half ago. About a year and a half ago.
So this was a test with the enhanced geothermal approach?
Yeah, it was Department of Energy. Yep.
Is there any public notification?
If it's with DOE, I'm sure. I mean, at DOE, you gotta disclose. Yeah, it's public information. Department of Energy.
We just all we did was allow them to have the opportunity. So I'm assuming that they let everybody know. I mean, you can Google it. It'll come up.
Yeah.
Enhanced geothermal.
Well, Desert Peak 2.
Desert Peak 2.
Enhanced geothermal, something like that.
There, write that down, Corey. Desert Peak 2.
Desert Peak 2.
Oh.
Look it up in my spare time.
Okay. Right on, you guys.
Would you folks be open to contacting the community, monitoring people, I mean, directly? I mean, PTA does it whenever they do, like, bombing, you know, instead of requiring them to look at the website.
Yeah, of course we'd be open to that.
Just like what we're doing here.
Yeah, see, like you folks gave
We have
us
any
notice
Yeah.
about you folks' meeting here.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, that sort of thing, so that people so that the community will know when to.
So, you know, I mean, yeah, that's good. That's being proactive.
Yeah.
Now, on the other end is that when we have had experienced incidents, we've contacted them too. Yeah. So it's better to be proactive.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because it's difficult. It's difficult for monitors to just keep looking at the same website over and over and over again and see nothing.
Man, we contact Bob, Tom Travis,
Yeah.
so we have incidents at the we also have a representative over here, Leilani, we call direct.
I know we stand side by side out there, so we got good working relationship.
Yeah.
It's hard, especially when there's nothing to find. You know, that's the
Well,
hard part, yeah.
that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If you tell them beforehand, and if they find nothing, then they find nothing. But
Well,
at
that's
least
the
they'll be
thing, I mean,
vigilant to monitor, right?
You know, in the past, we've told them that we have issues with our station, and all of a sudden, we get 1,000 calls saying that they're sick. You know what I mean? They plan it to where our station is down. I mean, there's no way to back that up.
Well, but then the
It
people
It works
who hold,
proactive for the public, but, you know.
Sometimes they can go against us. I mean, we know that.
that's to be expected, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is the people with the monitors,
Mm-hmm.
you could just call them when you guys
Yeah.
don't have your regular monitors. That
That's-
way,
Yeah.
and that's objective, right? That's not people,
we did
malingers
change
calling
our
up.
station back in 2010, was it, Mike? Where we changed out the
The
station.
whole,
The
yeah.
station was down for 3 days,
Yeah.
4 days.
We can let them know. We can, because we gotta let DOH know.
Yeah,
And
that'd be
operators are
So-
there 24/7 at the plant, monitoring the plant. They actually go on the perimeter with the handheld drone and monitor the area back up.
Yeah. Anything we report to the agencies is public information.
Yes.
You know, and that's where you can help. You can go to DOH. You can go to DOH and make them tell the community to. I mean, we'd be happy to do it too, but they're the ones supposed to look out for the community safety, right? So you, being a representative, you should have some influence.
You know what? If you can, you know who holds the monitors.
Sure.
It's not going to be difficult for you folks to call them like the day before.
Well, we know
or
who
something.
controls them on.
Yeah, they pass it around.
Well, I'm not telling you folks to figure out who you pack with, but if you folks know who controls it, then just go give them a call. It's not that hard.
It's not, and we've done
Okay.
it in the past.
Yeah,
Okay, that's all I'm requesting.
okay.
I got probably a weird question.
A request? Okay.
I know there's geothermal plants that heat buildings in the winter and provide all kinds of things in cities. How come they don't have a gas problem?
They probably do.
Yeah, I know like Boise State, at the campus, I mean, their walkways are all geothermally heated. In wintertime, it melts the snow and keeps it,
There's one like city hall or official building that's heated during the winter in some city.
Most of Boise, unlike a portion of Boise, it's all geothermal heat. They actually have piping that goes through the walls in the houses and buildings.
Yeah, and then you go up to the north, they use it in all kinds of ways, and they don't seem to have a health problem of people breathing this stuff.
Different geology.
And they're probably not getting notified. If they got notified, they right?
Well,
yeah.
to a very degree, there is different geology, but the plant I came from, one of the plants was steamboat. They call it steamboat because there's a natural occurring fissure, this huge fraction that runs through a portion of the plant, and it's constantly venting. We have a lot of naturally occurring fumaroles that it's just like if you went down to Kuroiki, walked down through the crater. Those are all naturally occurring around the steamboat area. They're all marked. Our reporting levels for H2S are way, way higher than they are here. And we have issues with H2S as well. But again, and one of the points I was trying to make, the people that work at the plant, nobody's ever gotten sick from it. We've never had any health issues. And the same goes with EJV. We've never had any health issues with the people at the plant. And if you look at what happened to people at ground zero and 911, that's what happens. Those are serious effects to to the people that are right there.
You know, and I think that's great. I also think, though, it also depends upon whether or not there's any wind, right? If it's stagnant, then I could see the people at ground zero should be having more effects than the people outside. However, if there was wind that's blowing it in a certain direction, then the people who are downwind of that wind would probably be affected more than the people at ground zero. So, I mean, all I'm saying is monitor, okay? I mean, that's the big concern, and since you folks are monitoring, just inform the people who hold the handheld monitors when you folks are not actively monitoring, because everyone else is assuming that you folks are actively monitoring. Okay?
Yeah.
It's just one thing, you know, with the handheld monitors, like when you're down on maintenance for your monitors, are they there all the time? They stand there all the time?
No, they do perimeter
so
checks.
They're not there, you know, like your permanent monitors.
They can go every 15 minutes to half an hour.
Every 15
They have portable monitors that they can fix in any location they want that will stay there 24/7.
But they have to come out, yeah.
They have to bring them out. So if they know that we're doing maintenance, they can plan ahead.
And then they bring their monitors.
If they prefer to do so, yeah, yeah.
All right. I was just wondering if every 15 minutes.
Now, again, don't forget, we have all those other monitors that's closer to the source.
Okay.
That usually gives us the early warning before it reaches the stations.
Well, yeah, that's the one I'm saying we're all assuming it's working unless it's down. And so.
Yeah, unless it's being worked on.
And I think they're concerned about those that are up there. Those are working.
Yeah, there's concern about that, yeah.
Then I've heard people talk about modeling where the plume goes. I've heard people say that if there's a depression in the ground, that perhaps it could go and collect there, kind of like in a bowl.
Sure.
So what's been done as far as modeling of where any plume of hydrogen sulfide might go?
Well, you know, the emergency response plan that we have was all based on modeling, air modeling. And it takes into account the potential source, you know, the wells, and it depends on the chemistry, et cetera. And we had third-party folks do that. I mean, that's been a while, you know, so, but modeling was done when you do modeling like that, especially for EPA and the state, there are certain scenarios that you assume worst-case scenario. So that's taken into account. That's in the ERP. Yeah.
So all these people getting sick, has there been any medical documentation that they're tied to getting sick directly from PGE?
No.
None.
The Geothermal Asset Fund is a fund to help people who are adversely affected by geothermal. All you need to do is prove that you're adversely affected, and you get compensated.
So how long you
22 years.
And not 1%?
One person got some money from the asset fund because apparently we affected his fruit plants, citrus.
Is what?
Citrus, yeah, it was limes and oranges.
That could have been kill-away or food.
Right, but the county accepted it, so and he got compensated.
It's a rather high burden of proof, I would think, to
and
prove that your health
right.
problems came from geothermal and not from anything else. And you were asking about medical documentation. There's one person in the Puna group, a nurse, Laura Travis, who has gone around and interviewed people after Tropical Storm Isel, and she is saying that over 100 people are reporting getting sick.
Yeah.
So I do not think it's accurate to say nobody has gotten sick.
So all that needs to be done is you submit that to the county and say, look, can we get compensated through the asset fund? We're adversely affected by geothermal.
Now, my understanding, see, I got to look into the county asset fund, because let's face it, they're using it for other things other than actually compensating.
Well, they're using it for what's recommended by folks from the community.
Okay, anyway, my understanding is it's usually like for property compensation, not for health compensation.
No, it's not true.
Okay, that's why I said I'm going to have to look.
Yeah, there's two funds,
because
two.
Yeah, I thought there was two.
There's two. There's the asset fund and the relocation fund.
And the relocate. Okay, maybe that's the one I'm confusing.
That's for the property, yeah.
That's a property owner.
Right.
But they'd have to prove that it's from geothermal and nothing else, and that I would think is practically impossible. And I have to say, I really feel like you're minimizing the impacts after Tropical Storm Isabel. Because I went to the meetings right after and listened to the people talk about how they passed out. There was one family where they wanted to evacuate. They couldn't evacuate because they couldn't wake up their family members to get out. And I've heard worse than that. It's not proven yet, but I'm not going to go through the whole thing with you. But
No, I've heard. I was there. I heard the folks speak.
And a number of those people are not the same. Are not people who normally complain either. Okay, I mean, I know a couple of them, and you don't see them, and they're not malingerers. They're not the ones who file workers' complaints. So it's not like these people are in it for the money or whatever, or are just complainers. So anyway.
Yeah.
I think that was.
No, I definitely, yeah, I heard the presentation. Tom Jarvis, yeah, put that on at Haas. The first time I've heard the presentation, and I think it was like 106 folks got sick. One person passed out for 12 hours. And then, not too long ago, though, I guess they've been doing further assessment. I think there are over 120 people today that are sick. Over a dozen passed out, and 2 people died. That was the report I heard at the county council. So, 2 people, that's what was testified at county council.
Much more serious than the way you were treating it a few minutes ago, Mike. You know.
It is serious. I agree. I'm not trying to downplay it. Yeah, it's crazy, yeah.
You know, to have an industrial operation in the middle of a neighborhood just doesn't work. I'm sorry, I know you're doing your best, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
So again, though, coming back to us, no one at the location ever got sick. So you got to weigh all of those factors too. Yeah, it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. No. And
If it was easy, we'd all be doing it. We'd all be happy and.
frankly, I think there needs to be a buffer zone. I think that's the whole idea behind the relocation fund as well as the compensation. So, and maybe that may be the answer to it, and not necessarily what you folks are doing or not doing. Although minimizing the effects would go a long way.
Well, why?
As well as monitoring.
Why should people be living in a neighborhood, then this thing comes in and the people have to move?
No, you know, I understand it. It's the ones that came in after.
Yeah.
You know, after.
Right.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Relocation on your house.
Look at
has-
Hawaiians. I mean, look who came and who had
Right,
the home.
that's not good. The bar is pretty high on the relocation fund. Your house has to be like in good condition and all. Yeah, a lot of people in Puna can't meet the conditions.
Okay, so maybe that's what I don't know.
Are you planning to run for county council?
I'm not running for county council. But anyway.
You would understand the asset funds. Well, you could get it from Ilagan, I think. Councilman Ilagan.
So, anyway.
Do you know if it's true that some people so have the relocation funds been paid out?
I know at least one person who got monies from the relocation.
Oh, we've done, we, meaning the county, has done over 10 relocations, at least, I mean, historically.
You get paid a premium too. It's not just.
Yeah.
We heard that, I mean, what I heard was at least one of those people bought another house in that area.
No, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I've heard that the county buy it and then resell it.
Right.
Someone is always going to abuse the system.
But the fact is, there's a very active Puna group, and there wouldn't be that active of a group if there wasn't some serious concerns that really need to be addressed.
Right. Agreed. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out.
Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you for holding the meeting, Mike.
More power too.
Anytime, Corey. Are you participating in the next Terra merger with Sierra Club? I know you guys are interveners, huh?
I think we're Sierra Club's an intervener, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys rooting for the merger or not?
Not as a company, but personally, I think it would be for the benefit of all of us. That's my thoughts anyway.